What's up, guys? Welcome to another 11 out of 10 podcast. We're bringing it bigger and better than ever before again today with our special co-host, Jacob Blank. Thanks for filling in for Zachary Keeps this week.
Yes,
if you guys have not checked out Jacob's episode, go check it out. Absolutely fire. And our guest today, the one, the only, the legend, Nick Perry. Guys, Nick Perry, his first year on Investorlift, wholesale deals in almost every single state. When I first met him, he had just broken $1 million in assignment fees in a year. Last time we were kicking it at his office, he had over $600,000 on the board. So, Nick, thank you, the legend, yourself, for kicking it today. Let's jump in.
Honored and excited to be here, man. Hanging out with some legends myself. The Gen Z fucking prodigy right here. This guy was wholesaling deals before he even got out of high school. So absolutely no excuse why you're not doing it. I mean, when was the first time you wholesaled a deal?
Yeah, I started at 16, got my first deal closed at 17 years old. Yep.
So no excuses. And then Robert Wensley, this guy's absolutely revolutionized the wholesaling industry, made my job a lot easier, made a lot of money using Investorlift. So, ready to get into it. Let's drop some bombs.
So we were kicking it at Mike Martinez's event a couple of weeks ago. We're up in the penthouse chilling. One of the things we were talking about is, are most wholesalers broke?
I've had the honor to be able to mentor over 350 different wholesalers and companies within our 7- and 8-figure cartel. 95% of them are broke. And it comes down to a couple things. One, they blow their money as soon as they get their first deal because they're delusional with, how far money goes in the real world. And then two, they don't have that long-term mindset. They're just thinking about, when can I get the watch? When can I get the Rolly? They're not thinking about building a real company that's going to be there for a decade. I've been doing this for over 10 years now. And, my first 6 years, I ate fucking Chipotle and I lived in 1-bedroom, apartments. And even though I had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, I had that long-term vision. I knew that money could go just as fast as I made it. So, I always just looked at the horizon. I said, if I delay gratification long enough, then I can have whatever I want.
I love that. Yeah. Like Jacob, you just got your first Swiss watch, right?
Yeah,
what do you got? Cartier?
Cartier watch, yep. First watch. After 5 years of doing this business, I agree. Most wholesalers are broke or they're on the edge of going broke constantly. I think you mentioned that most wholesalers that you've seen when educating and mentoring, they're sitting with $10,000 in their transacting account of their business.
Or less.
And that's like not even 30-day supply of what you need of dry powder to run this business. You're literally on the verge of being out of business. And this is the problem. I got my first deal at 17 years old, closed for $30,000 profit. And I reinvested every penny back into my business. I didn't go blow 20 grand of it and then have only 10 left. And I think that's what people are doing. They're blowing the majority of what they make on shit that isn't for their business when they should be reinvesting it in their business. And then we were just talking about the vision, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where people have it backwards. So what was your vision when it came to business, right?
Yeah. So, this watch, I bought this after the first time. This was my first Swiss watch. I bought this after I, for the first time, had $1 million cash sitting in the bank. That's when I give myself my first pat on the back. Hey, Robert, you did a good job, right? It's all about delayed gratification. Because for me, I'm not building my business to finance fancy shit. I'm building my business to finance the next level of my business. Because I think that, if you truly love what you're doing, the most rewarding thing you can achieve in business is getting to that next level, coming up with a vision in your mind, and then executing on it and getting it there. So I do buy myself trophies, right? Athletes get trophies, actors get trophies, even scientists have the goddamn Nobel Prize, right? So I think you should reward yourself, but don't be don't make your first 30K on a deal and drop 15K on a Rolly.
That's
insane. I'm going to give it to you straight. Yeah. Okay, so this is for everybody out there. You should have at least 3 to 6 months of operating expenses in your business account and your personal account. So if you spend $10,000 a month in your business, you should have at least 30 ideally $60,000 in your account. If you spend $10K a month on personal, same thing. So ideally, if you got $10K on personal, $10K on business, you should have at least $120,000 in your account before you go out and start making any excessive purchases.
And then this is the problem. That was your mindset. Business. The goal was to build a business, change your life by building a business. The problem starts before they even get started in the business because they're thinking about, I want this shiny object. That's why they're getting into business.
Because they're broke. They're coming in with a broken mindset. They're not personally developed. And that's the problem.
You got to get into business to do business, to build businesses, not to buy things.
That's why it's so important to work on yourself and your personal development and learning from people like Robert, learning from people like Jacob, people that are already where you want to be. You look at Elon Musk. You think he gives a shit? He sleeps in a boxable, and it doesn't care. All he's thinking about is getting to Mars.
And I think it's social media that has people have it all twisted. They just see this shiny things all the time when they're scrolling on their phone all day, that they've got it backwards. They need to hear stuff like this and switch their mindset around and focus on what's actually the value.
It's the broke mindset.
Yeah.
If you look at like Louis Vuitton and like these luxury brands, right? Like Bernard Arnault, the head of the LVMH group.
Richest man in the world, by the way.
Is he back to
right
number
now,
one?
he's back to number one.
You know who their target demographic is? It's not the rich people.
It's the broke people.
No.
It's the broke people. The rich people they get bespoke, custom tailored shit. They're not going and doing what we call conspicuous consumption.
Yeah.
Right? They're not buying, I think the economic word is venable goods, or you buy it just to show off the wealth. They're investing in the stuff that makes sense. And before we started rolling, you were talking about, like what actually does make sense to spend money on. Like,
I can tell you, don't go buy Louis Vuitton shoes. Damn sure don't buy these fucking glasses. Okay, I bought all the bullshit. I bought Ferraris. I bought all the designer clothes. You name it. I've probably spent money on it. So after somebody that's been through all that, the only thing that's going to give you real fucking fulfillment with the money that you spend is going to be on experiences and with the people that you love and care about. Yeah. When you're on your fucking deathbed, nobody says, man, I wish I would have just bought one more pair of Louis Vuitton fucking shades. Or, I wish I would have just got one more watch. They say, man, I should have taken that trip. I should have spent more time with my family and my friends. Those are the wishes that are on the deathbeds of most people. Not, oh, man, I should have bought a nicer car. That never happens.
Yeah. Or
100%.
Conversely, not even taking the extreme of being on your deathbed, but you end up in a cash crunch. You're sitting there with like $100,000 and fucking Rolexes and shit.
Don't be
You're
that guy.
Why did I spend $100,000? Now I gotta go fire sale these to get enough cash. Like I know of big guys in this industry that have built up these huge watch collections and have literally had to liquidate them just to make payroll.
Well, then guess what happens? They have an identity crisis too after that because they built their whole identity on shiny objects. Now they have to fire sell everything. Identity crisis. Now they got a whole nother issue.
100%.
So can't be doing that.
Don't fall in love with the shit. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the game.
Correct.
The trophies, wait years to buy stuff. Like I've been doing wholesaling for 5 years. I'm buying a watch. Cool. But it doesn't mean anything. What means something is those experiences, traveling, family, taking care, having the ability to take care of your loved ones. But if you're only leaving 10 grand in the bank, you can barely operate your business.
That's fucking selfish.
How are you going to, what if your mom needs help? You've left no money in the bank. What if your employees need to get paid next month? You've left no money in the bank. It's selfish. You got to learn how to operate a real business, and that's what you need to be focused on, not focused on spending every dollar you get.
So I think we're in agreement. 95% of wholesalers, they've given up the living paycheck to paycheck to living deal to deal.
That's
100%.
For the people that are listening to this right now, and they're like, shit, that's me. What do you think they need to change? Let's say they cut the crazy spending. They get focused. They run lean. Mm-hmm. What else do you think that people are screwing up on?
I think it's the broken mindset and the broken mentality, right? So they're not personally developed enough, and they don't have a large enough vision. So, in the beginning, when I was broke, busted, and disgusted, I spent all my time, listening to financial literacy, listening to personal development, just brainwashing myself with people that were way further along and where I already wanted to be. So until you've, got your PhD in personal development, I don't think you should do anything except stack cash. And most people, they just, don't fall in love with the process of becoming a better human being in all facets. You got to be mentally, physically, spiritually developed to be able to handle these blessings. That's why most people are not here, because it's ill-gotten gains, and the universe will somehow find a place for that money to go, because you can never outpace your identity. If you're, an 80-degree person, say you get up to 100 degrees in your bank account, you're always going to find a way to cool it back down. Something's going to happen. And controversially, it's going to come the opposite way. If you end up, you're an 80-degree person and your bank account drops down to, 20 degrees, you're going to figure out some way to get it back up. So you have to raise your financial thermostat in order to, become financially free.
100%. And I think, it's not your fault if you have this broken mindset where you have these urges to spend every dollar you're getting and you're stuck in this deal to deal, you're living deal to deal. It's not your fault that you have this broken mindset, but it is your fault if you stay there, right? You got to personally develop, you got to self-develop in order to get to a place where you don't have these urges to just blow every dollar that you're earning.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the balcony here a couple days ago with Bradley. He was saying, if you want to change your outcomes, you got to change who you are. And the only way you can change who you are is by gaining access to new information.
Let's get nerdy with it, because you're Investorlift, right? We'll be super techie with it. Your brain is a computer.
Yeah.
All it is a series of inputs and outputs. So what are you putting in?
Yeah.
Your body is just a sensory organ. So whatever you put into your ears, your eyes, even what you put into you eat, you smell, you touch, you taste, your environment around you, that's all input into your body. And whatever you're putting in is going to be a reflection in what you're going to get out. So that's been huge for me. Start changing your environment. If you live in a shitty, apartment and you're hanging around a bunch of hood rats, go out to the nice 5-star, hotel and go out there and work on your laptop and buy a coffee and just be around wealth. Start surrounding yourself and put yourself in environments that are rich for success. You can psych yourself out and kind of, lure yourself into success a lot of times.
Yeah, 100%. The reticulating activating system, like when you get a new car, then you notice that car on the road a bunch. Same thing. Everything in your life that you're witnessing is what your reality is going to become. So you can do like a whole, recreation of every single thing that you are, but that comes with changing every single input that you're taking in, everything around you. You got to switch it up. And that takes a lot of sacrifice too. You might have a lot of friends that they're going down one path, but you're going to choose the straight and narrow and choose a different path. And you just got to make that decision that you're going to be different. And the thing is that's what you got to do to be successful. Literally nobody's successful that just follows the crowd, right? None of us do what everybody else does. We do the exact opposite, and that's how you end up here.
I can tell how successful you're going to be by looking at your Instagram and your TikTok feed. If you got girls shaking their ass and a bunch of, sports when I'm scrolling, you're probably not going to be successful.
Give me your phone. Give me your phone right now. Give me your phone.
Let's do it.
I'll give you mine.
All right.
We're gonna play a little game here.
Let's see.
Let's do TikTok.
Review my feed. I'll review yours.
All right.
All right. Give me your phone. This is gonna be fun. Hey, can we do a handheld camera here? Oh, let's airplay it. Can we do this? We're gonna airplay.
Let's look at Nick Perry's TikTok feed.
All right, airplay, living room.
I don't know how to airplay. Somebody help me.
Oh, I got you, bro.
All right.
We're gonna go through all three right now. I love this. Guys, this is the real shit. We like to keep things
real. We're gonna audit
here.
my TikTok.
Audit your newsfeed. Living room.
Here we go, bro.
All right. So
You're in charge. You swipe.
Yeah. So All In podcast right here. So we're talking about technology. These guys are all billionaires. If you guys don't watch the All In podcast, you need to subscribe to that.
Living in a van.
Oh yeah. Van life. You don't want to be that person. Okay.
Real
so financial. Yep.
franchise show.
That's it.
Just in Vegas. It's an
Okay.
ad.
Flying first class. On
Yeah, you do a lot of that.
I love traveling. Do a couple more.
I'm going to help you make this happen.
Talking about investing in businesses.
More financial advice.
I like learning about how things are made, like big projects and things like that. I'm always learning about the
Love
world
it.
and how it's put together.
This is the easiest way to sell a home.
So you see, I mean,
It's all business, right?
yeah, Gary
Small
Vee.
business. Gary Vee.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my TikTok
All right.
feed.
Am I up next?
You're
I'm
up next.
All right, let's
Honest
see.
review. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is the guy that Brad was saying that we should have on. He started a private jet company.
Jesse, yes, sir.
Yeah. So Brad offered to give us an intro to bring him onto our podcast. So baller, billionaire business guy.
yeah.
Joe Rogan.
All right, some Joe Rogan. You gotta have some Joe Rogan. I have no idea why I'm getting this, but interesting. What is he doing?
He's giving the light a fade.
Why did this get 97,000 likes?
I have no idea what the hell this even is, but anyways.
Some UFC.
UFC was
Yeah, that was crazy.
day in the life of an entrepreneur.
Damn.
That's facts right there.
Facts right there.
Most of the founders
Sam Altman, AI. We gotta talk. I want to get your thoughts on some AI stuff
Absolutely.
a very long
Sam Altman's a billionaire now as well.
here. Aerospace. Okay, Jacob, you're
All
up.
right, mine's gonna be all funny shit, and this is not gonna go well. And this is
I
dangerous.
like this. This should be a new segment.
This is not gonna go
Audit
well.
your social media feed.
Yeah. I think yours was
Living
better than
room?
mine.
I only
I'm a
consume
junkie.
reels
You're a
sometimes
junkie.
Yeah.
that are funny. See?
All right. This is Jacob.
Oh shit.
That's sexy one.
Oh,
Oh, you're going too fast. You're going too fast.
Okay, UFC.
UFC.
All right.
Max
Yeah, we saw
Holloway.
this guy fight.
Yeah, gym stuff. There we go.
Some shit today.
Some more gym. Into the gym.
6:53 on a Friday, guys. I just want to say entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
All right. All right.
Pickleball.
Oh, pickleball meetup with a bunch of
With a
chicas.
bunch of chicks.
All right.
So Jacob's a little questionable on his speed, but
A little
it's
bit
all right.
questionable. Oh! This is hilarious. I've seen this.
What is going on?
What? He just.
He got 392,000 likes. So clearly, we're in the wrong fucking niche. So we just need to be doing stuff like this.
The one I saw, it said, "Do you ever get the urge to do this?" I'm like, who gets the urge to milk their car like that? Like what?
Oh my God.
Whoa, that's
First
crazy.
time lifting with fentanyl.
That's crazy.
Don't do this at home. All right, we're done. We're done.
Yo.
Round of applause.
All right.
There we go. Share your fees.
We've got a good mix of entrepreneurship mixed with the funny stuff. You gotta
All right.
you gotta laugh in life a
All
bit.
right, let's throw the best of logo up. Okay, so bottom line, we talked about this with Brad on the last episode. You want different outputs, you got to change your inputs. You either
That's
got to
it.
change the people you're around or change the information you're getting.
Change the environment that you're in.
And this takes sacrifice. You can't expect to be different without leaving stuff in the past.
But now with technology, you can control your inputs. Back in the day, you were subject to the people around you. But now you can go on YouTube and just listen to a billionaire. That was unheard of 15 years ago.
Hey, this is Investorlift. Yeah, we can definitely make you more money. This is the average assignment fee for a wholesaler, $14,000. When you add this on top, that is the average assignment fee for an investor's wholesaler, over $30,000. Click the link below and learn more.
Can you imagine if when you first got started out, you literally had like all the guys like you and me, guys like all the guys we've had on this podcast, just like on Instagram where you can just download everything, their whole playbooks, they're just giving them up for free.
I would have been here in a fraction of the time.
Yeah.
It took
Yeah.
me over a decade to get to where I'm at right now.
You shared this story on another podcast we did together, how many appointments you had to go on to get your first deal. Can
It
you
took
share
me
that?
104 face-to-face seller appointments
104.
That's
over the
crazy.
course of 11 months to get my first deal.
And these were not virtual over the phone. This is you driving out and visiting people face to face.
Yeah, because that's what I thought I was supposed to do back then. And so driving in my beat up Mazda 3 in no AC, Texas heat, all over fucking Texas with a big hole in my back because I just had back surgery.
Shit.
Damn.
And getting kicked out of houses left and right from sellers because I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't have good mentorship. I wasn't getting the right information and the right inputs. So I was striking out left and right. And I wasn't personally developed enough at the time to have the confidence to lock down the fucking deals.
Yeah.
And I just continued to persist. So like when I, was in that time period, I went and took a sales job at Indeed, which was probably one of the best things that I could have done because it got me really good at sales.
Yeah.
And when I became really good at sales, that's like was the light switch that completely changed my life financially.
What do you think your life would look like if you gave up on appointment 103?
I would probably be working a 9 to 5 still. That's the reality of the situation. I just got to the point that I remember at appointment number 70, like 5. I'm a persistent person, but I was beat up after like appointment 75 and I'm sitting in my kitchen. I'm like, man, maybe this, isn't cut out for me. All these other people can do it, but I can't. This is too hard. Maybe this is fake. All the shit that if you've never done a deal, you're probably thinking this. And I was like, maybe I should just give up. And then I was like, fuck that. I had, sunken cost fallacy.
Yeah.
So sunken cost fallacy says, if you go down a road long enough, you're just going to keep fucking going because you've already come too far.
Yeah.
So I got there. I was like, I already watched so much YouTube and went on so many appointments that I was like, all right, fuck it. It's either going to kill me and I'm going to be like homeless writing on a fucking cardboard sign for bandit signs or I'm going to succeed. So I just burned my ships and I was like, dude, I'll do this until I fucking die.
Past the point of no return. I got there too when I was.
Yeah.
It took
how
me
long
8
did
months.
it take you? 8 months?
8 months to get my first deal. I went on a lot of appointments too and didn't get it signed. And all that drive time to just go out there to not, it's such a waste. So props to you for 104, man, because you got to think about the amount of hours just driving to each house.
Just setting up the appointments to begin with, the calls and the texts and the emails,
so much
just to get a yes to go on an appointment.
But I got to that point where I was like, I was too far in. I said, there's no turning back. It's either I'm gonna die trying or make it happen, or I'm gonna,
You know what really blows my mind about hearing those stories from you guys? Knowing how God tier of salespeople you are today. And then I have this like funny thought in my head, like how fucking shitty at sales you were back then to go on 104 appointments and not get a deal. And like I always tell people this, I'm like, when you first get started, you probably think you're good at sales. You're not. When I go look at my Zoom recordings, this is a really fun thing I did the other day. I went back to the beginning. I've recorded every Zoom call going back 5-6 years, going back to the very beginning. And watching my very first calls, I thought I was a good salesperson. And I'm listening to these calls, I'm like, oh my God, like the guy gave a clear opening to close. He had motivation. He had, everything was teed up on a silver platter. And you're like, well, let me call you back.
There's also a thing called law of averages. So I went on 104 and I got my first deal on appointment 104. And then appointment 107 was a deal. 109 was a deal.
It just starts hitting.
It just starts hitting. And
Icebreaker.
Yes. And it all started coming in after that. But the law of averages says, and this is in sales in general, you could strike out on 100 appointments, but if you zoom out to 500 appointments, you're still 1 in 20.
Yeah.
So you can't get discouraged as a salesperson if you're going on a dry spell because you'll get in your own head and get in your way. If you just fucking zoom out a little bit further, a lot of times the law of averages you'll see carried its way all the way through.
Yeah.
I think this is huge that you went and worked at Indeed. I hire like most of my people off of Indeed, so I've spoken to a lot of the sales guys there, and their sales guys are good. They teach you, a lot of good skills there, I think, and, to get that capital for you to start your business. But like, I think if you're a young cat out there going and getting a sales job, that at the right place, it's got to be at the right place, because you could go to certain car dealerships and you won't learn a thing because all they do is sit and drink coffee all day waiting for people to walk in and they're not closing nobody. But if you go get a sales job at the right place, the amount of self-development that you'll have there, the sales skills, like that's key. So, and another thing, you say there's so much information out there today, and there is, like, but it can be a bad thing actually, because it can be too much information where people get analysis paralysis. Like they think there's every answer out there, so they're looking for every single answer before they do something. When I got started, it was like 2019, so there was plenty of information out there, but there wasn't like an overwhelming amount. People get stuck in this cycle of just watching, and not
Going to
doing.
conferences, the conference junkies.
Yeah, the conference junkies. Like, guys, you're never gonna find every answer. You're not gonna comment on a YouTube video of mine even and get an answer from me every time with your one small problem. We've had hundreds of small problems. You have to just be resourceful and figure things out and move forward. That's how you end up successful. And consuming too much of this wholesale stuff and is a waste of time. You need to take action.
Use your common sense. Usually what you think the right answer is the right answer.
Yeah, and you can do more with less, really. You know, take what you got. You've learned enough. You've watched 3 months of YouTube. Go do it. Stop watching. Do.
I agree. Yep, there's a lot of people that don't take enough action. They're about sitting there and, you know, it's the same thing. People will say, oh, well, I need to get my website. I need to get my, LLC. Dude, I didn't have an LLC until after I wholesaled 60 deals.
Wow.
It was all I was just, under my name and my personal checking account. So there's no excuse.
Yeah.
Go out there and fucking take action every single day. I have the fucking motto, just shoot first, ask questions later.
The worst thing is that I need buyers before I get my deal. Why would you build your buyers list before getting a deal? Because a real deal is going to fly off the shelf and sell instantly. Like, it'll sell itself. So wasting your time on buyers, building a buyers list before, like, it doesn't make sense.
We refuse to sell anyone an Investorlift license if they haven't done deals.
Yeah, because
They're
they don't
not
need
a deal
it.
a month. We don't care. We're like, you can wire some money. We will not take your money. We won't give you the checkout page. I am not selling dispo software to a single goddamn person that doesn't have a deal to sell.
You don't need it. You don't need it. You need the deal. And then I guarantee once you have a deal, you're going to find a way to sell it. You found a way to get the deal. There's going to be a fire under your ass to sell it.
Call Jacob. You guys will JV and sell it for him.
100%.
I call it the failure to start problem. And this is another thing. So there's the guys that spend all the money on the Rollies and the new Benz and all that. There's other guys that obsess over like, oh, I need my LLC and my CRM and my follow-up and blah, blah, blah. No, just you need a goddamn Excel spreadsheet.
And a cell phone.
Yeah. That's it. Like, work on your sales skills. 70% of your success comes from your ability to solve problems on the phone for people. That's 70%. So if you can't do that, there's no point in doing all this other stuff.
Yeah, and the big thing with that is you got to get out of your own way. That's one of the main problems with this whole sales thing, and that's how you get good. Like you said, you went back to some of your Zoom calls watching how somebody literally opened up for the close. They were ready. Like there was no objections in the way. Everything was ready to go for you to lock down the deal, but you were in your own way.
Self-sabotage.
So you got to learn how to get out of your own way, because a lot of times you're causing them to object. You're causing them to go sideways on the call when you already had a straight shot to the close. So,
dude, I'll bet on ignorance on fire than knowledge on ice any day.
Yeah.
All my best sales guys that I've hired in our organization are the guys that come in and they just pick up the phone and they don't give a fuck. Like, I'll be like, offer 20 cents on the dollar. Boom, they do it. They don't care. Like, they're ready to run through a brick wall and not ask questions.
Knowledge on ice. Half the industry is sitting on ice. Knowledge on ice.
There's a lot of fucking smart, broke people out there. There's tons of PhDs that are flat fucking broke. You know what PhD stands for? Poor, hopeless, and desperate. So, don't think that getting more information and being smarter is going to fucking make you any more money. I'm a high school dropout, and I'm probably not the smartest one out there, but I will outwork you, and I'm not scared to fucking run through a brick wall. You just need to have some common sense, a set of nuts, and be willing to fucking work.
And like, guys, you can go to school for 5 years, and then you'll get out of college, and then you'll go get a job. Your first job, you'll make 50 grand a year, maybe if you're lucky. And then the next question you're going to be asking 6 months in is, shit, how do I make some real money? Because like you said, money in the real world, it goes fast.
Real fast.
And then you got to learn how to make some real money. And your 50 grand after tax, it's not going to do it. And you might have had fun for those 5 years, but it's time to learn how to make some real money in this world if you're going to live a real life, because you'll be living a small life if you can't produce some more income than that.
Okay, now there are guys like you, Nick. You are the unicorn. You're the legends of the industry, the guys that break $500,000 a month, the guys that wholesale across the country. First of all, actually, let's wind this back a little bit. Can you explain to people what your life looks like right now? Like your company is in Austin. You're not in Austin.
No.
What does your life look like right now, and how the hell are you able to manage this entire thing?
I live at a brand new penthouse on the beach in Mexico, overlooking the ocean. Looks like a fucking Windows 98 screensaver. There's nowhere else that I would want to move. Let's put it that way.
But your team's in Austin.
My team's in Austin, Texas. I live in Mexico. And it's because I put the right people and the right structure in place, and from the work I did a long time ago back in my 20s. You know, I've been doing this a decade now, but it took me 6 years to get my business dialed in to the point that I could actually leave it. So I've been away from my business for about 4 years now.
Wow.
The first 6 years, though, was 80 hours a week in the office, you know, working on the weekends too, doing whatever it takes, nonstop, and first one in, last one out, just putting in the fucking work. There's no way of getting around it. But what I did was, you know, I found people that were in my organization, and over time, you know, started to give them more responsibility and more responsibility. And the cream always rises to the top. So that's how I was able to promote within and divide up responsibilities so that my team runs everything. So I have a CEO in place. CEO, the buck stops at them, right? So everything in my organization, any decision stops at my CEO. I'm not involved in any day-to-day decision-making in my business. I am a true business owner, right? So it's just like, you know, owning a football team. I'm Bob Kraft, and I've got, you know, Belichick, and I don't get in Belichick's way with how he's, you know, running the team. That's up to him. Hiring, firing. Are we going to flip this property? Are we going to turn up marketing? Are we going to invest in this software? That's all on his plate. So if you guys are trying to pitch me on anything, you're pitching the wrong person. That's not my department.
That's a real testament to your skill in business, because we all know people is like a major bottleneck for all businesses. It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to find good people, right? Especially nowadays, like everybody's just locked in their phone. They don't know how to interact with people, and you need somebody that can really run your business and, you know, rise to the top, like you said, and finding people like that is super tough. So that's awesome how you've been able to, you know, build out that football team roster like you're talking about, and how you've been able to put the right people in place, because that's a challenge for a lot of us.
It's built over time, you know, so don't think like I just like hired a CEO and fucking dipped out.
No.
That's not how it worked. My CEO started off as a cold caller.
Yeah.
And then became a leads manager. And then he was in acquisitions. Then he was a team lead in acquisitions. Then he was a team lead in Dispo. Then he became COO, and he was stuck at the COO role for 3 years. I promoted him to CEO, and then I moved away. And that was over the course of
I've
4 or
seen
5
people
years.
plug in a CEO or COO and then step away from their business, but within 6 to 12 months, they're right back in the same spot.
I think bringing in an external CEO doesn't work in our industry.
I've never seen it work.
It's never worked. They gotta
know the day-to-day stuff, because these deals,
need
there's so
years
many
with you.
problems with almost every deal. There's so many title issues and just things you have to
Seller
work
issues,
through.
yeah.
You just got to have that hands-on experience.
So I've seen a lot of guys try this. You're the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that's pulled it off. And everyone in this industry, everyone that's watching this wants to know how you pulled that off. One of the challenges that I've seen is, number one, people bring in an external CEO. That never works out. It's always doomed to fail. The whole thing fucking crashes and burns. They tank the company, and the owner has to come back into that CEO role and take it back up. The other problem too in our industry is super high turnover. Like I would say probably like the average salesperson in our industry lasts like maybe, what do you think, 10 months?
Mm-hmm.
About 10 months, would you say that's about it?
Yeah.
I think so.
10
How
months.
do you manage that when you got
Even the good ones, I mean, they'll stick around a year and a half.
a year and a half, 2 years?
I've had
Listen.
guys for 4 or 5 years. One guy's 3 years. So but like you said, they rise to the top. They stick around, but a lot of them last 10 months.
But a lot of times if
you
they're
know?
crushing it, then they're out and they're doing their own thing, competing against you. Like, how do you manage that?
Well, how do I get them so they don't go out and compete with me? Is your dream has to be big enough for everybody else's to fit into. So a lot of these guys, they come in, they're like, I want to make, $200,000 a year. I want my own fucking rental portfolio. I want to have passive income. All right, well, let's figure out how to do that, right? So you got to reverse engineer their goals.
Do you let them buy deals from you?
Yeah, we sell a lot of our deals to our guys. We'll even help them fucking flip
Love that.
deals. We'll give them our resources so they get cream of the crop. They get to pick deals. We've helped them wholesale deals. We help them through the entire process of buying rentals, all the way through from acquiring the property and getting the hard money loan all the way till they refi and have tenants in place. So, our team is building their, essentially their retirement by working in the organization. Better than any 401k they're ever going to get working at an employer.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's the only way to do it.
And then my CEO, he has equity in our actual company rental portfolio, where we're stashing rentals in there. We're cherry picking rentals 2 to 3 every single month. We have been for 8 years now.
Yeah.
And so he's got equity in there. So he's built, a 7-figure net worth on paper just by having a small piece of that.
Yeah.
It's all about being able to properly incentivize people.
Yeah.
So you want to retain people. I'm a master at getting people to do what I need them to do. Even I've always been good at that. When I was a little kid, we'd go out in the neighborhood and I was the guy that I organized everybody to play, flag football. I'd be like, okay, all right, now today we're doing this game. And I'd have everybody, I'd be like, and these are the rules and you're on this team. I've always kind of been like the ringleader, and I know how to, incentivize people based on what they want. It's all about dangling the right carrot and knowing how far to hold that carrot away from them.
I love that.
And if you can do that, you can retain people as long as you want, as long as you know that they want that carrot.
So our normal co-host is Zachary Keeps. Have you met Zach, by the way?
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
So Jacob actually wholesaled his first deal to Zach.
Yep. It's crazy.
We did an awesome fire podcast the other day. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. We'll link it down below. Zach brought up this one point. He says, the super high volume wholesalers, guys that I know, they get into it 5-10 years, and the one regret that they always have is, I didn't buy more. Buy more. You're buying some right now. Did you come to that realization that at what point did you start buying and holding?
Probably 2016, 2017, because I went to masterminds where I listened to old guys say, man, I should have bought more rental property.
Yeah.
That's the one biggest regret I had. And they say a wise man learns from his own mistakes, a brilliant man learns from another man. So going to, masterminds and events and things like that has saved me from making a lot of those costly mistakes.
So you've been buying since 2016.
2016, some 2017.
How long were you wholesaling for before you started buying?
2 or 3 years.
Wow, so you started buying quick.
So you started buying real quick. What are you up to right now? How many rentals you got?
I think it's like 111. I just asked Brandon. I think it's a 111 right now.
Damn. So you got a pretty substantial. And now, are those spread out? Because you're wholesaling across.
Spread out. Yep.
How do you
Through.
manage that?
We got property management on every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same company or no? Because
We try, but no, they're all over the place. So, we just factor in, for property management, we're really conservative on what it's going to cost us for, maintenance escrow every single month. I don't even care about the cash flow in my portfolio. I don't even touch it. Most of my rental portfolio is all in good areas that are appreciating.
Yeah.
Like, Texas is great for appreciation, but not great for cash flow because you get killed on the taxes there.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll still buy property there because I don't really care about the cash flow. If you guys think you're going to live on the cash flow of your rental portfolio, you're fucking delusional. Like, I know lots of people that have a lot of rentals. They don't just sit back and live on cash flow rentals.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Zach has said that he's making more money on his rentals than he is off flipping. That'd be the one exception.
That's when you get up to 300 houses.
But he's got 300 plus houses.
Yeah, but it takes a lot to be able to live off of it.
Yeah.
Correct. But I'm building, equity every single day that's going to, turn into tens, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars in whatever it is, 30, 40 years when I'm ready to really retire.
So you're out of the wholesale. You said before we started filming, you visit your team maybe once a quarter.
Yeah, so I don't have to go back to my wholesaling operation anymore, but I do because it's my baby.
Yeah.
I birthed this baby in a 1-bedroom apartment in East Austin, which was the hood, and built it up to what I like to think is the greatest wholesaling company in the United States of America or the world. And so now I've grown this company, and my baby's gone off to college.
Yeah.
And I've moved away, but I still want to go see my baby. So I go see my baby off at college, and, you know, it's the cool kid at college now. They don't need dad, but they're like, hey, dad, they're happy to see me. But after like an hour or two, they're like, all right, dad, we'll see you later. It's, you know, fun. It's humbling. You know, it's just a different stage. Your business should always continue to evolve like that.
Yeah. Now, Jacob, are you buying properties? Are you building up your portfolio? I'm
Not
curious.
yet, no, but I did own a bunch of land out in Waddell, Arizona on seller finance.
Yeah.
But that's since been paid off. And so I was, you know, getting mailbox money on that. So that was sweet, but I'm going to buy my personal residence this year out here in Scottsdale. And so that'll be my first like property that I close on and hold. I actually, on the podcast with Zach, we talked about that deal. I'm now going to go back, rework it, wrap the mortgage, seller finance the equity, and then it's going to be an amazing deal for my personal. And I'm thinking, damn, I should be structuring a lot more deals like this here in town and keeping them. Are you doing a lot of creative stuff, holding creative?
Yeah, how do you feel
deals
about
as
that?
well, or?
I love the idea, but like, we're just a machine.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a fucking machine. And so when you start throwing in like creative finance,
It blows it up.
Yeah,
I've
right.
tried it on so many teams.
It screwed up my
It always
business.
blows it up. Like at your level, I've always said this, guys. Yeah, go look at the Jerry Norton 0 to Million a Month podcast that I did playlists. I've always said this. I'm like, as soon as you introduce creative into a high volume team, now if you're a one-man shop, always take advice in context. If you're a one-man shop or a two-man shop, 100%, you got to juice every fucking lead, learn all the different tools. But if you put creative into a high volume team, you blow up that team. Do you agree with that?
I agree with it. I mean, I tried many times. Like I put my entire team through Pace Morby's training.
Yeah.
We started locking up a bunch of creative finance deals, and it turned into, you know, them just sitting down and underwriting deals for way too long. It log jammed my entire acquisition process. Then
Probably
we-
cut your numbers about 50%, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why every time I've tried it, it's a 50% cut in revenue.
Yeah.
And so I just pulled the plug, and because also they were opting for creative finance versus what I want them to, because the wholesale business is a cash. You know, I need cash. I'm
It's a cash transactional business.
correct.
Yeah, same thing. We did Paces training, my whole team. I had Brandon Simmons come for 2 days. Great training, great knowledge.
Yep.
But then it just, you know, it screws up everything with their whole sales process. They're thinking about way too many options on each deal. So now they're sitting with a seller that was never going to be a deal in the first place when they should have already moved on to the next.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it screws
Just
everything up.
Everything's broken.
So
Yeah.
cash is king,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, the deal has to have equity no matter what.
Yeah.
So the price is always most important anyways
Yeah.
to focus on.
And by the way, guys, we're not shitting on creative. Creative is a PhD level deal strategy that is one of the most impressive, powerful strategies you can use in your business. And Pace Morby is the #1 guy in the country to teach it to you, hands down. So check out the videos we have with Pace if you want to learn more about that. But again, that's good if you're a small shop. If you're a big shop like Nick, pumping $500,000 plus a month, it is dangerous as hell. It's almost suicide to plug that into a team.
Especially with the rate environment right now, you can get killer deals, you know, taking people's mortgages that are under 3%, you know, so there's the value there. But yeah, 100%, you don't want to screw your whole organization up focusing on too many things. You can't be a master of everything.
That's where everybody goes wrong. For all you new guys starting off, this is where you're going to fuck up your entire organization, is when you don't have focus. When you
Yes.
start saying, okay, oh, you know what? We're going to go out and we're going to do creative. No, we're also going to be doing Airbnb, and we're going to be doing land deals. You know, now you're...
Yes. This is literally 60% of the calls we get on. It's like, oh yeah, I started wholesaling some deals, and then I was like, oh, we're gonna start flipping. And we started flipping. They were like, oh, let's add a couple Airbnbs, and we're gonna do some buy and holds. Oh, now we're getting into multifamily. I'm like, so how much money did you make last year? Oh, we lost about 400,000. Okay, you know why you're losing money? Because you're
Focus.
not fucking focused. Just pick one thing.
It's all,
Follow one course until successful. That
If
is
you
what
want a
focus
coach,
stands
get
for.
one coach. Don't get 10 coaches.
Correct.
Get one coach.
it all goes back to the same thing, the knowledge on ice, like you said. Like, people are just consuming everything, they're trying everything, but
Yeah.
they're doing nothing right. They have no focus.
It's called shiny object syndrome. If you have that, you're a little bitch. I mean, just fucking focus. Lock
real.
in.
For real, like literally what made you your money, your first deal, do that over and over again. Like, I'll get on coaching calls with students of mine and I jump in. They got their first couple deals, and then they told me how they got it. It was from cold calling. And I'm like, okay, what marketing are you doing right now? And they're like, we're text blasting. I'm like, you're not doing any cold calling. Why? The proof of concept is there. It worked. Why would you stop? And people just got it all messed up. I don't know why. You got to focus and do one thing.
And become the best at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in months. It happens in years. And if you don't have the fortitude to say, well, I'm going to do something for, a few years, then you shouldn't start in the first place.
Yeah. 100%.
That's the only way to really get somewhere, because like you said, $250,000, it doesn't go that far in 2024, right? So you got to really, stay in the business for a few years, really build up some money for you to actually have a foundation, because money's not how, it's just not the same no more. Goes.
So I want to circle back with you, Nick. We're talking about the life you're living right now, pretty much living like the life that all these guys watching this want. You got your company rolling. You gave up your 20s so you can live your 30s like no one else. You've already done it. You got a huge portfolio, over 100 properties. You got a team spinning off hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. What are you pursuing now? Because now you got free time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you spend that time? What's
Right
next
now,
for
I'm
Nick?
shopping for businesses.
Okay.
Because, I'm only 35 years old.
Yeah.
And let's just be real. Like, having a wholesaling operation is great, but it's not a 8, 9, 10 figure business. It's never going to be. Wholesaling is great if you live in your mom's basement and you're trying to make fucking 7 figures a year.
Yeah.
Great business.
I think it's the last frontier where you can make $1 million in a year like that.
And
with
I'll always-
zero education, zero credit, zero cash.
And I'll always continue to optimize my wholesaling business, working on better margins, picking up rentals, because it's the best place to get off-market real estate. So going to keep my wholesaling operation cranking, but, that's one business. Now I'm looking at, other businesses that I can take the skills that I learned in wholesaling and apply them. So sales and marketing is applicable to any industry that you're in. So right now I'm actively looking for businesses to purchase. I got some stuff that I'm working on right now. I can't talk about it at the moment, but that's it,
You're doing oil too, right?
Yeah, I own oil and gas investments. I own a lot of investments in real estate, but
You're coaching, right? Like
I'm looking to start up again because I still got a lot more in me right now. We got our coaching and mentorship program.
Tell people about that.
We talked about this. Hindsight's always 20/20. I wish I had the knowledge back then that I have now, because I could have got to where I'm at in a fraction of the time.
Yeah.
So we've got so many members that have come in early on in their career, doing maybe a couple deals a month, that have exploded to 30 plus deals a month in an insane amount of time. I look at these guys, I'm just so proud of them, because within 6 months they're doing 30 deals a month when they're doing 1 or 2 deals a month.
Yeah, there's so many calls. I was on a call yesterday with someone. He's like, I was struggling. And then I got onto the next program. He fixed my shit.
Correct. Because
I
we've
hear
been through
that
it.
every fucking week.
Yeah.
Wholesaling's not rocket science. And for me, next steps is I want to own companies. I want a fucking empire.
Yeah.
Right? You look at the guys on Shark Tanks. They own portfolios of fucking massive companies spread out across different verticals and industries, which now I'm at that position where I'm ready to take my expertise and start investing into companies. But you don't do that if you're just getting started in wholesaling. So let's just be clear on that. I'm a decade in and I've been scaled out of my business for 4 years before I've looked at, moving into other.
Yeah, and what I love about this business is this skill set is so transferable, right? Like,
It's all the
Jacob,
same.
I bet within 10 years you'll be out of wholesaling. I almost
Probably.
guarantee it.
Yeah, probably just input sales and marketing, the skills that I've built up in this model into something else for sure. That's more profitable with less headaches.
Fuck, dude, wholesaling's got a lot of headaches.
Yeah, it does.
A lot of headaches.
That's what people
Every
don't
deal
get.
is unique. That's the biggest problem. Is every deal is hairy. Every deal is unique. There's title issues. There's versus there's a lot of other businesses where you can take the skill set you got in
You swipe a
wholesaling.
credit card.
You swipe the credit card.
Yeah, the online stuff, the coaching, e-commerce, that stuff's a lot less headaches than the wholesaling. But the deals pay.
But it's hard if you don't have the skill set. It's hard to walk into those businesses
100%.
and become a millionaire in a year. Versus if you come into wholesaling first, you get to $1 million a year. You learn the how to run a CRM, how to run a sales floor, how to build follow-up processes, how to do lead gen.
Wholesaling will make you a bona fide fucking dangerous entrepreneur to walk into anything you go
100%.
into.
Especially because of all the trials and tribulations you go through of just trying to get a deal closed. And then you'll have like 200 grand on the board, but then half of it will just disappear like that because of problems. Oh, this deal I recently closed, it was going to be $65,000. I was going to sell it to the hedge fund Amherst. The guy all of a sudden goes, I don't want to get my tenant out of the property. He's not going to leave. And Amherst is only going to buy it vacant. So the deal blows up. I'm out 65 G's. And, you know, that builds thick skin.
Let me talk to you about that, because that right there is why he can go in and do anything else, because his problem solving ability is so much better than a newbie coming in, right? Yeah. Something that would like just cripple the average person is just another fucking day in the office.
Yes, sir. Another day.
You know?
In the beginning, like first year, you know, some days got me. They got the best of me when all my deal board would go to nothing.
That was just
problems.
another afternoon.
But now it's another afternoon, and that deal, because now I got good at the game, I got good at the business. I filed a memo on that deal 2 years ago. I just closed that deal last month, $37,500, got paid for it. So it wasn't the 65, but I still got paid. So guys, when you're putting these efforts in, it's the compounding effect. It'll all come back to you. You just got to show up every single day, year after year, and you'll get paid. That's really the secret. If you guys want the secret to success, is getting 1% better every single day. People forget about the compounding effect of getting 1% better every single day.
70 days to double.
Right. You just show up and get 1% better in your business, your personal development, your physical fitness. All of that is going to just absolutely transform your life. And like you said, 70 days, you double. Think about where you'll be a year, 5 years from now. Yeah, and once you get somewhere, it's the small tweaks that like rocket ship you to the next level. Let's talk about this. One of the main things that people are failing at in wholesaling, it's a lead flow problem. You need opportunities. So how do you feed your team with opportunities? How many opportunities a day, new opportunities, are you giving each sales guy? Each sales guy gets 5 to 8 new leads every single day. Yeah, you got to. And so I get on coaching calls and I'm like, okay, how many new leads did you get today? And they're like 1 or 2, and it's like a 3-man team. I'm like, how are you gonna turn this into anything? You're working with nothing. So you gotta be able to have a good flow of opportunities.
Now, how many leads to a deal does your team run?
Right now it's 1 in 17.
1 in 17.
On PPC, right? Yeah.
So they're guaranteed a deal a week, pretty much.
Our sales guys will do about 3 deals a week. 2 to 3.
3 deals a week, the top guys?
No, that's like 3 solid deals a week. So what we do is we give them Fridays off. Yeah. If they get to 3 deals by Thursday.
Nice.
And they've got to be approved, underwritten deals by, our CEO. As long as he puts a stamp of approval on them, they got their 3 deals, they can take Friday off.
Are you running any other marketing or just PPC?
Just PPC, that's it. It's the highest quality lead channel out there.
The main thing is you guys need to make sure you have a good flow of opportunities coming in no matter what, like clockwork. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere. And this business, it's like a 90-day cash conversion cycle. So if your lead flow dries up, you're screwing your whole business up. People will go and they'll hire a marketing like ads company. They'll run some ads through another company and they'll run them for like a month, and then they get a couple deals and then they turn it off until those deals close and then turn it back on later. But they don't realize stopping your marketing for a month is going to set you back 60, 90 days.
You know why you guys do that is because you don't have fucking credit. You guys are operating your business out of your checking account like an amateur, right?
Talk to Scotty T.
Yeah, exactly. You guys should all have 0% interest business credit cards to float your marketing and G&A expenses on. If you're sitting there running your fucking business out of your business checking account, you're just going to torch it up and down, and you're going to be stressed out to the max. It's no way to run your business. So you need to go out and get 0% interest business credit cards and float your business expenses on there, because then it allows you to just pay those cards off whenever closings happen.
Scotty Trigalis is doing your stuff, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know Scotty Trigalis, we'll drop a link in the comments below. Check him out. He does all Nick's stuff. He does my stuff. When you get that 0% financing, first of all, you need that, right? Because it solves the cash flow problem, because we're managing cash conversion cycles. Like that's what it all is. So if you can manage that cash conversion cycle at 0 cost, like, come on, guys. Like, it's not rocket science. Take advantage of those offers. But not only that, but when you use these credit cards, guess what? They have these rewards programs you can abuse the hell out of.
I travel first
Travel
class.
hack.
Fucking.
How long have you been you just traveled for a month? All right, tell people about where you were.
I was just in for over a month in Australia and Asia. First class flights everywhere I went. 5-star hotels everywhere I went. You know how much I spent on the flights and hotels? Zero.
Yeah, I just did a $100,000 trip to Norway and Gstaad, Switzerland, the most expensive city in the entire world. $0.
You guys are fucking up if you don't have 0% interest business credit. You're probably like, Nick, well, my credit's only 680, and get your shit fixed. If you're a fucking adult, you're a business owner, and you got shitty credit, like, shame on you. Get your fucking credit fixed. Like, reach out to Scotty Tregalis.
He'll clear it all out in like a week, 7-day credit sweep.
Correct.
Yeah,
Then
and
you
it-
put some trade lines on there. Now you're back to whatever it is, 760, and you're off to the race. You can go apply for cards. You'll have them fucking a week in the mail.
Let's switch to deal or no deal.
Deal or no deal. We're gonna, guys, if you want us to do more of this, let us know. This is a new idea that we have. It's called Deal or No Deal. And what we're gonna do is ask our guests, we're gonna show them a deal on Investorlift and ask them, is it a deal or is it not a deal? All right, so we're in.
All right.
All right, Express Home Buyers. So this is the first company I ever worked with. This is
That's
Brad
awesome.
Chandler. You know Brad
Yeah,
Chandler?
of course.
Yeah. All right, so 922 views. This is the hottest deal on Investorlift right now. I know what it's hot. It's Reston, Virginia. Reston is a hot area.
Exactly.
314,000, ARV 440. Let's pull up the photos. Let's look through the photos real quick. It's small though.
Spread looks
A little
good.
townhouse.
Little
Let's
townhouse.
see condition.
All right, so cosmetic. Look at it. Kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, popcorn ceiling in there. I mean, it's gonna need full remodel on the interior.
You know, we've actually done some in this exact same area. I'm pretty sure, like this. I think we've done this exact same model before.
Yeah.
Super outdated.
I know
cabinets.
exactly where this is.
40K.
40K. I think that's good. So you're into it for 355,000. Then you got closing costs. Okay, so first of all, I don't think that this deal posting is that great.
No, scroll back up. Let me show you. So first of all, the fact that this has 922 views is just because it's in Reston, Virginia.
Hot area.
Hot area.
Smoking
But if
hot.
this was in like a smaller market, people are not going to respond to this. I like how they did double emojis,
Yeah.
but you have to tell them what the potential profit is up front. So I would put flip opportunity, 75K profit or potential profit, townhouse in Reston.
Yeah.
So tell the people, what the buyers, what's the advantage of them clicking on this deal in the first place? Hot opportunity, I don't know what that means. Is that a flip? Is it a rental? I don't really know. So try to spell out what is it, how much they're going to make before they even click.
I like it. Now, you think you're into this for about 40 grand, so all in, 355 plus closing costs, commissions, all that. What do you think? Deal or no deal?
I think this one's a deal.
I think
I think
a
it's
deal,
going to
too.
go if it hasn't gone already.
I think they're going to get multiple offers on this, and it'll probably sell at or above asking.
If the ARV is true, yes.
That ARV is probably underestimated based on Reston.
The area? Okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
this is a deal. Because it's small.
Is my thought. Maybe I'm
1,200.
wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but Reston, like, we know Reston. Reston's hot.
Yeah.
Townhouses that are 1,200 square feet.
I'd have
you
to see
know,
the comps on the other properties,
Pretty safe.
to see what they've done with them, but this one is
It'd
a
be
deal.
a good deal.
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is. All right, do we want to do another one?
Let's do another one. I mean, I can do any place in the
Okay,
country.
if we scroll up to the, right up there, just put VA, or just type in Virginia. I'll tell you where.
Go to
There's
where
another
the-
Fairfax, Chantilly, down there.
There you go.
Okay, Chantilly. Another super hot area.
This one's not going to be a deal.
Okay, this is tight.
Tight.
524,
524.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the photos. It looks not too bad, though.
See that tree over the roof? Not good. Can't be having
Yeah,
that.
I'm looking at cracks in the foundation.
That roof's got to go for sure.
1966 build.
Another Express Home Buyers. Shout out to Brad Chandler.
Yep. It looks like another cosmetic. I'm not seeing any. Well, that foundation on the outside. Who knows?
This is one where if I was a buyer, I'd have to look at it. Like some stuff can sell sight unseen if there's enough margin. But the margin here is so tight.
So it's a unfinished basement. It's got wood paneling everywhere. All that's got to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work in here. There's a lot of work I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be $60,000, $75,000 remodel.
1,600. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big house, at least 50. So there's not much room on this at
There's
all.
not a lot of room on this.
But again, location.
It could be quick though.
Location's great.
We'd have to comp it out because I'm wondering if you did it well and you put 80 grand in this place, can you push the ARV way up?
I think I don't know if you can push the ARV up on
It's
it.
so small.
Correct.
So if 650 is where you're topping out, I almost feel like this
Something
is...
else that worries me, it's a carport, and a lot of the comps you're competing with probably have a one or two car garage. So
Yeah, that's a really good point.
with that ARV, I'd assume.
All right, so what do we say? Deal or no deal?
I'm going to say this one's tight. If I had to bet on it, I'm going to say no deal.
Yeah, no deal. I'd say gotta buy it at like 500 max. So
Again,
they're
when
overpriced.
you guys are creating your titles, hot opportunity, gem, I would refrain from stuff like that. Tell the buyers exactly what they're going to get. This is a flip with this much potential profit, or rental with this much cash flow. Using the emojis is great, giving the location's great, but hot opportunity and gem, that salesy
Little
kind of
bit
stuff
salesy.
is not really going to help.
All right, let's scroll down to the bottom, and there's a section that's flips nearby. Let's go pick one of those, because Nick and I know this area, because we're from this area. All right, which one do you want to pick?
Let's do the one in the hood, PG County.
PG County, which one is
What's that one? 2.1 million down at the bottom. What is this?
2.1 million. This is commercial. You want to do commercial?
Let's see what they got.
2
All
million
right.
price reduction, quarter the cost of a new build.
ARV4.
All right, so I like that someone has the balls to throw on a $2.1 million commercial property.
Right.
Now, this is going to be valued just based on the cash flow. So, like in single family, it's all based on comps. Once we move over to commercial, it's all about what is the future cash flow
Let's
of
see,
the property.
because as a buyer for this, I'm just looking, what is the
So we got 9% low income tax opportunity. Interesting.
NOI on this? So what I'm looking at, where is the income?
Let's scroll down, see if there's some downloads that give, or somewhere where it says, okay, annual property tax, cost per square foot, $89. So they're selling it for $89 a foot.
This must be,
Potential rent per square foot, $2. Like, is
That
this
must be
percent
a
high?
typo.
That's gonna be a typo. It's got to be 20, at least 20. $2 a square foot,
At
like.
least
Right.
15, 17 minimum.
Do you think
For
this
its
person is
office,
just
so-
high?
I'm not seeing any numbers on here that are,
This is not going to move just because, like, you need, there should be downloads. I should be able to download,
Correct.
performa of what the thing's performing at.
And
Right.
you need those metrics right at the top because people aren't going to waste their time going through all this. But they're putting in the effort to build out a pretty good description.
If it was renting for $2 a square foot,
I don't think this is a
Definitely not
good
ideal.
description at all.
They're trying to build a good description, but
it's got to be 20 a foot. There's no way it's $2 a foot.
yeah.
So I think this is a no deal just based on,
Let's see the other photos.
information.
Is it?
this is a big
Beat
reason
up?
why a deal might sell or not sell is the listing description.
Yeah, because people are just going to click onto the next one.
This
I know exactly where this is.
Outdated.
Oh, is it got?
Like
Is
a
this a
church?
church? It's a church.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a
He's
church.
trying to wholesale a church.
A wholesale church. I gotta love
So
it.
what they want to do is they want to cut this up into office or into some sort of other purpose and make multi-tenant in here and try to sell it for double the value because the church is obviously moving out.
Yeah. It obviously used to be office space.
Oh,
And
then it became a
it looks like
church.
there is still some office space here.
yeah. And it's in pretty good shape.
Not too bad. They got part of their floor.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to say not a deal with existing posting.
Correct. No, until he gets more information and presents it better, the chances of a buyer clicking on this and calling him is slim to none.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, guys, if you enjoy Deal or No Deal, just let us know in the comments below because we'll keep on doing this. If no one likes it, we'll drop this segment. But I like this. I like this practical, like just looking at deals. That's what we do all day long. Nick, before we wrap up here, you are a goddamn legend in the space. You've wholesaled deals, I think, in every state now, right?
Every state.
Every state in America.
Yep.
You are the godfather, the pioneer of virtual wholesaling. What final advice can you give people? What if you could just say, like, give people one piece of advice?
Invest in good leads and master sales. If you can, doesn't take a rocket science to do this business. Like if you just can invest in good leads and you don't need a bunch of other shit. All you need is leads and a cell phone. So don't overcomplicate this business. If you're just getting started, high quality leads, some good sales ability, and you're going to make a shitload of money. Those are the two things you need. You don't need anything else. So stop overcomplicating things and, persistence pays.
Love it. Guys, if you want Ferrari assignment fees, you got to invest in buying some Ferrari leads. Nick, thank you so much for being a part of the Investorlift family since day one. Since
Absolutely.
day one. It's been a pleasure being a part of your business journey and seeing you grow up and blow up your business. And a lot of people might not know this, but Nick's on the board at Investorlift. You've been on us really early, back when it was just a handful of clients, and it's been incredible having you as part of the journey. So I know this is day one for you. I'm super excited to see what's next with Nick Perry. So thank you for coming out and sharing all this knowledge with everyone. Jacob, thank you for co-hosting.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having
Filling
me.
in Zach's shoes. Guys, if you haven't seen Jacob's podcast, it is incredible. Absolutely incredible shows. It doesn't matter what your age is. You can absolutely rip up and do insane deals in this business every single day. So, guys, thank you for joining us again this week on the 11 Out of 10 podcast. We'll see you next time.
There we go.
Bam. Sick. Whoop.
We got it done.
Got it done.